awesome. Hi, Katie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great.
It's nice to be back.
I know, isn't it? It's lovely.
So this morning, we normally say sit wherever you want, feel comfortable, stretch out, find a space that makes it easier for you to worship. This morning, I'm going to say, can we have 8 or 9 or 10 people come down here and sit with us and be willing to participate in a demonstration? And in order to do this demonstration, you need to be able to do this and put it back down, or this. That counts too.
Excellent.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. I love a community that volunteers.
Yeah.
Okay, have a seat, and we'll tell you what your role is momentarily. It has something to do with democracy.
Yes, it does. It does. Look at all these people. This is awesome.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. So we have in our congregation something called a board of trustees, and those are our leaders. And our board of trustees recently voted to change our policy for small groups when it comes to masking. So small groups, we're talking 12 people or less, kind of around 12. That feels like a small group, right? Yeah? So this policy involves something called covenanting together. It's covenanting together. Now, when they say let's covenant together, what does that mean to you? What might covenanting together mean? Do you have an idea? That was an I don't know.
Does anyone have any ideas? What does covenanting mean?
You want to know? You want to speak into a microphone and say? No?
Okay, so covenanting is something we talk a lot about in Unitarian Universalism, and we talk about sometimes in children's ministry, right? We talk about making commitments to each other as a group, but we don't often talk about in a big group. So covenanting is any time we make an agreement with a group, especially in terms of how we want to be together. And there are HOA covenants. HOAs are homeowner association. Ask who really wants to rant about HOAs. Ask Miss Bunny later about HOAs if you want. They have covenants. Sometimes families have covenants. I know some of y'all's families have covenants, and communities have covenants. And to us as UUs, covenants are sacred. Sacred means it's something special to us that tells us about where we are in the world. And a covenant is extra, extra sacred to Unitarian Universalists because it's a tool we use to talk about how we want to be together in the world. Gio, when you and I hang out, do we picture ourselves boxing one another? Not how we want to be together in the world, because you'll kick my butt. Yeah. So that's not part of our vision. We have a vision about how we want to be, but a covenant is a tool to formally put it into words. Does that make sense? Yeah. Covenant? Okay. The other thing we have to talk about is a board of directors. Mm-hmm. A board of directors is the people in the community who we trust and know have the community at heart, who gather just about weekly to make decisions. And we know they have the community at heart because we're the ones who put them there. How do we put the board of directors where they are in their positions?
Does anyone know that? Election, voting.
I heard voting, I heard election. Did you have a different word? Oh, you said you don't. Yes, Jeff.
Maybe like how good they are at doing things, and then like the people spot them and they're like, okay, that person's cool.
Exactly. And actually, who's on the nominating committee? So NomCom is where that board starts. Because we can go to nominating committee and be like, this person's awesome. Let's put them on the board. And nominating committee does their process, and then we get to elect them. Mm-hmm. So the board has our best interests at heart and has the community at heart. And the covenant is a vision of who we want to be together. Got it? All very technical. Not technical at all.
You guys got it.
Okay, next page in the notes.
Yes, so what we're going to be doing for small groups is we want to have a covenant for 12 folks. What we want to do is say, because we have been radically inclusive, that's part of our mission statement, right? You all know that that's part of our mission statement. And we want to, as part of that, we want to center the people for whom masking isn't necessarily even a choice or a preference, but they need it to stay safe, and they need it to be part of the community. we want to center that. It's not a choice for some of us. It's not a preference for all of us. Does that make sense to y'all? So what we want you to do in your small groups is we want you to say, okay, let's find out before, let's make a covenant about how we're feeling about masking before we meet. So one of the ways that that folks who have emails might be able to do it is send out an email to everyone saying, hey, we're meeting next Tuesday. There's this new covenanting policy in place, and I'm going to have you all select and email me back if you would like to have everyone masked, if you're going to be masked but you're okay if other people don't, or if you are okay being unmasked. And that way no one needs to know who it is who needs everyone to be masked. There's no pressure. There is just full disclosure on it. So I thought maybe we could try that here, okay? So we're a little bit more than 12, but we're kind of like, let's imagine that this is a group of 12.
Gianna and I can be the same person.
Oh, awesome. Okay, you can be the same person, but you all are your own individuals for this, and that is okay. So I'm going to pretend, let's pretend that we're having a meeting. We're going to be down in room 9 after this, so you know if it's inside or outside. And I'm going to have you, if you are comfortable, closing your eyes. If you're not, that's also fine. And we're going to have a vote. And your options are, I am okay if some people are masked, and I may be masked or not, or I would prefer if everyone stayed masked. Does that everyone understand those two options? Okay, so the first option is, I am okay if some people are unmasked and I may be masked or not. You can raise your hand if that's where you are. And I'm not calling anyone out on this. Okay, wonderful. Now, the next vote is, I would prefer if everyone stayed masked. Okay. Okay. And now you all can open your eyes. And then what I say is, there were some people in this group who preferred that everyone stayed masked. We are centering those folks. It is really important that they feel safe, that they feel included, and that their safety needs are put at the very highest point of what we're considering. So for this group in room 9, we're going to stay masked. How do y'all feel about that? Good. Thank you.
Because it's really important to remember that democracy isn't about majority rules.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't about the most of us said this and so we win. It's about saying that we as a community want to take care of each other as a community.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is a really easy, simple way to do that and to
Absolutely.
show that.
And we're really hoping that by practicing doing this, we're not just talking about masking. We're talking about how else can we be inclusive? How else can we be looking at what people in our group need? How else can we be covenanting and taking people's needs and whatever that is that they might need to bring that to the front of our community?
Yeah. So there's two kind of important things with this. One is remembering that we're learning to be back together and we're all moving out of this pandemic thing together. And it's going to be tricky and sticky and hard. And we need to work on being honest and remember that covenants can change.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And the other is that this is a decision that you should be making in conversation with the folks in your house. Kiddos, mostly because your parents are the ones who are going to have to bring you to the doctor if you get sick.
Mm.
Adults, it's because we want to take care of each other and we want to make sure we're all staying in the same ideals. So this is a really good conversation to have in the car on the way home today. Is how do we want to do masking for our community?
Awesome. Thank you, Katie, for helping me
Thank you.
explain this. Thank you all for being our demonstrators. We appreciate it.